Hello, welcome back to It's New. Barry here, Greg there.
Hello.
How are you? I think Mordy's sleeping in an airport. Crystal's somewhere on a beach, maybe. I'm not really sure. And we're sitting in our offices. Greg has a nice plan. Greg, what are you talking about today?
Well, the cushions have been shaken as Google reports its ads revenue and what you can do about it.
Awesome. And I'm going to talk about some more volatility. Is it all rainbows and sunshine?
Okay, so in Google's earnings, the Q2 of 2024, they were up 11% in ad revenue, up from 58.14 billion to 64.62 billion. And in reality, a lot of this, you could see the writing on the wall. And with today's kind of modern Google ads, we don't really set bids anymore. And it's something I think that everybody's seen. We've seen reports consistently that CPCs and cost per clicks are on the rise. We've seen that, the ads, units look very similar to organic. We're seeing ad units placed under feature snippets, as reported last week. And to me, the biggest thing as to why is, and I've been shouting as loud as I can over on Marketing Clock that this is like an evil genius plan of saying, hey, guess what? You don't need to set your bids. And I am the ad platform. I will set the bids for you, and I will do it for your competitor and for your other competitor and for your other competitor. And it's just, we're seeing CPCs and costs going up. So I know that in the show, a lot of people want to know what to do about it. And I think that's really what a good ad agency does for you. A good Google Ads agency. You are going to pay pretty competitive prices now, or much higher even than years past. And the real benefit is going and figuring out different sources to add value to. Maybe it's demand gen and you haven't done that before, and you're doing demand gen. And it's remarketing and it's a lookalike audience, and you're able to lower some of those clicks. Maybe it's simple remarketing with specialized offers, working on every different facet of your landing pages. Like, what you need to do now in today's Google Ads setting to succeed is to outsmart your competition and outwork your competition, because sadly, these ad revenues, dollars and CPCs are not going to be dropping. They're just not. You have to go look, you have to test, you have to be a scientist, and you have to get that way. And we obviously see it in the revenue numbers.
Yeah, I mean, this was their largest Q2 for ad revenue ever. Their second largest ever in ad revenue. Usually Q4 is the highest because of all the holiday spending. So it was a very, very big revenue numbers for Google. Their profit was insane thanks to them using AI to replace a lot of their support people and a lot of other things. Obviously, they got rid of a lot of headcount, which helps a lot. And they had some AI announcements around ads, which I think I'll cover tomorrow. We'll talk a little bit about that tomorrow, maybe. But it was a strong quarter. But their stock price, at least when we're writing about this, is actually down like 5% in pre-market trading. So interesting to see that, even though they had a really knockout thing. I think their cloud services were a little bit down and so forth. Maybe YouTube was down, maybe. So I think they're a little concerned about that. But in terms of like taking money out of your pockets, advertisers, they're doing a really good job doing that for sure.
Yeah, and everybody else is following suit. When you look at those different bid types and Advantage Plus campaigns and everything like that, it's yes, these things do work, and yes, you need to use them, but they're also very strategically created.
Yeah. And then there's some new local service ad budget options to take more of your money.
Yes. So this was spotted by Nate Lewis over on X, and Nate was running some local service ads, or LSAs, and he got what I would consider a good pop-up that might actually lower or decrease some of that Google Ads revenue in future quarters to come. He spotted what he called a shiny new thing for Google LSA ad budgets, and there's a warning that says that he had popped up. But in reality, there's an account spend limit. And you can control your costs with a monthly account spend limit. You can turn that on or off. And so basically for a calendar month, you can set how much money you're willing to pay for your LSAs. It will take effect the day that you set it, and it will stop all of the campaigns the minute that that budget is reached, or at least roughly when that budget is reached. And then the strange thing is this kind of moves away from a lot of what Google typically does from a monthly budget standpoint. So something to be aware of. Typically, you'll go back and you'll look at here's my daily budget. Here's what that daily budget could be on a 30.4 day scale. That's the average days in a month, and we're going to try to hit that number. So if you have spends on a weekend, it can go higher because you're not during the week, because it averages out over 30.4 days. It's really tough for B2B people that aren't on the weekends. But this LSA budgeting is going to start and reset on the first of the month, every single month, which is just kind of a departure from the way that budgeting currently works. And then you can update it anytime, and the numbers, the reporting says is not real time, but it should be decently close.
Interesting. All right, we'll see what happens with that if it lasts. But talking about nothing lasting, again, we're having some more chatter and volatility in the Google search space. Organically, the search results seems to be bouncing all over the place. The tools are lighting up. We have Advanced Web Ranking, Cognitive SEO, SEMrush, Outguru, Mozcast, SERPstats, AccuRanker, Mangools, and others are actually really lighting up. They're showing a lot. The chatter was significant yesterday. Seems like some people are like, today it seems to be bouncing back. It does seem like that core update is coming up soon. Maybe Google's testing it. We'll see. Of course, these tools are really fun to watch, right, Greg? So, and then John Mueller comment. I saw John Mueller comment on a post from Elena Solis, where she shared a poll that she ran on her SEO FOMO newsletter, where 54% of SEOs said that they mostly saw positive effects over the last couple of years from Google updates. Not sure which SEOs filled those out. Super interesting to see that. That being said, there was only 109 responses to that poll, so it was a very limited number of responses. The thing that really caught my attention was John Mueller's comment on that, because he's only been seeing the negative stuff. We all have only been seeing the negative stuff with these Google updates. And he's like, oh, it's great to see this type of stuff. He said, this is usually how it works. Social media attracts those who have something to complain about. There are lots of people working on great sites. It would be nice to celebrate wins more. While there are exceptions, life as an SEO or when working on the web is not about doom and gloom. Thank you for making and helping to make awesome websites. I don't know if this poll is really representative of what the SEO community is feeling, to be honest. But of course, I use the nice sunshine logo with Google, because it is sometimes nice to see some positive things. Of course, I don't know if it's really 54%. I should do another poll on an X where people are more. The problem is he's right. Yeah, people are more likely to go to social media and complain than they are to rejoice. That being said, it just doesn't seem legit to me. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe some of those AI tools that Google's building are to influence some polls.
Ooh, you think a polls took? You think Gemini was filling out that poll and only submitted 109 responses? If it was like Gemini filling it out, there'd be 1 billion responses saying 100% happiness. Yeah. That being said, we'll see. The Google Core update is coming soon. Maybe there'll be all sunshines and rainbows for everybody in the future. Hopefully. We'll see. I doubt it, but we will see.
Question for you, Barry. I feel like this is gonna undo some of the things. I don't know. I got a sinking feeling from September.
I thought so with the March core update, to be honest.
I did too, to be fair.
So I mean, it just hurt. It's just like everybody's like, March updates here. Let's see what happens. I'm going to recover, and then it was like, oh no, it's worse.
But yeah, let's add a little more cheer. I'm optimistic at this one. I'm optimistic.
You should be. You're a very optimistic person, especially with Google taking all your money and charging you all these crazy CPC costs. In any event, thank you so much, Greg, for being here. See you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye.